Well, I went to Kansas for a cousin's 65th wedding anniversary and saw my myriad of cousins on both sides of the family. And I'm not a priest that usually likes to come back and talk about my vacations. You know, that sounds pretty boring to me, except that whenever I go to Kansas, it's almost always been around June or July, because it's summertime. And it always seems that the readings at this time of the year connect in some way to the rural land and the cattle and sheep industry as it does today. Now, I'm no expert in this. How many people here had cattle or sheep that they tended? Anybody? One, huh? In Italy, huh? So there it is. One person out of this whole crowd. So Bart's the only one who can really connect with this scripture, probably, but we do it through the movies and through TV and through reading and our understanding about cattle and sheep just from what we've learned over the years, not first-hand experience. But I have first-hand experience. Through my cousins, I go with them, and they love to drag me around to where the pigs were and everything and show me all this stuff, bring this city boy to life. So I was out there a couple years ago, I remember, and they took me out to the cattle, and it's similar because the sheep have sheepdogs. I don't know if they call them cattle dogs, but basically they're sheepdogs. And they help them round up the sheep and the cattle. So when the cattle begin to disperse, and sheep are worse, they go all over the place, they get lost, they see a wolf and they run, and before you know it, they're all over the place. So they get these dogs out there to go get them, Red! And then this dog runs around, nips their heels, or runs around them, barks, and to bring them all together. It's amazing. So you have all these sheep all scattered over here, the dog goes after them, and pretty soon moved them all over here and into the bins, and everything is right. So, we have this gospel today, and the idea of sheep, shepherd, sheep gate, these are not rare ideas in the gospel. Jesus uses them often. This was the experience of the people. They dealt with sheep. So Jesus is in his ministry, and he has been working hard, curing people. People have been coming from all these towns to hear him preach. They loved what he did. He cast out demons. They were there watching it all, experiencing it all, and they were exhausted. Jesus noted, the gospel noted, they didn't even have time to eat. So Jesus, caring about his disciples, says, look, come away with me. Let's go to a deserted place where we can rest and eat and gather back our inner resources. Let's go rest. So they creep out, get on a boat, and they're trying to get away. But there's always somebody who's poking their nose into other people's business, caught the news. He's going over here across the lake. So word went out, and not only did these people that he was with hear about it, but people from all the other towns. Now that's a good network. Didn't even have the internet, and all the other towns already knew about it. So by the time they got across the lake to where they were going, it was filled with people. Now, what did these people want? Were they looking for preaching? I don't think so. Probably the number one thing was healing, cures. Even those who were possessed, they wanted to be cured of the evil spirits. However, when Jesus taught, he always seemed to touch something profound in people so that their common response was, where did he get this stuff? Where does this come from? In some gospels, they even say, we knew his brothers, his sisters, his cousins, his aunts, his uncles. There's nobody who's taught like this. So, he gets off the boat, looks around, thinking he's going to be at a deserted place, and says, oh my God. And rarely do we get the inner thinking of Jesus in the scriptures, but here's one of those moments. It says that he looked around at this vast crowd of people. He pitied them. He pitied them because it says he saw them as sheep without a shepherd. That's what they looked like, sheep without a shepherd. Now, what is that phenomenon, sheep without a shepherd? Oh my God, get ready. Those sheep are going to be everywhere. Everywhere. So it says that Jesus looked at them pitied them, said they looked like sheep without a shepherd. And then what did he do? It said what did he do? Huh? Taught them. He taught them. He said they were like sheep without a shepherd, and his response was that he taught them. I like reading the commentaries on the internet, and not only that, what's very exciting to me is the blogging that goes on. What's so nice is that on the internet, somebody puts something out there, and then people can respond. So you get ordinary people, I'll say ordinary people from the pew saying, wow, this was interesting, this is my thought. So, I'm sorry, I was distracted. I just opened Facebook, and my hat's off to Michael Arvisu, who keeps up our internet page and our Facebook. It's very current. There's the man, the Facebook man. You go on, you'll find out people blogging here, what they think of St. Bernard's and all. But anyway, so there was a chaplain who responded, the first one to this little reflection, really from the Lutheran site. Lutherans are pretty good, huh? And so, this is what the chaplain said. It seems strange that the feed of the multitude is not in... Ooh, wait. I went too far. Sorry. I too, this is a chaplain responding to this commentary, I too have been struck by the somewhat odd juxtaposition of compassion and teaching when I read this passage. I enjoyed your comments, and it made me ponder which ultimately is the greater fear, facing a difficult physical concern or feeling utterly lost and without any way of coping. These are the two questions. It says, what is more difficult, facing physical concerns or these interior, I'm lost concerns? I suppose it depends. Most people came to Jesus to get cures because they were physically falling apart. I'm 65. Right now, this ear is so blocked, it happened like 2 minutes before I walked in church, it just went boom. And so I can barely hear out of this ear. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. But this is what happens after 50. You just start falling apart. Most of us do. Can't see, can't hear, can't walk. I've got aches every time I turn, something else pulls. And it just goes on. But that's minor. This is minor. I know sitting right here, there's people that have dealt with cancer, people that are dealing with diabetes, people that are dealing with chronic pain. And I'll bet you that many, if not all of these people, pray every day, God, please relieve this. God, give me a cure. Heal me. That's what people came to Jesus for. But when Jesus looked at them, he saw something more important for the vast majority. And it was all interior. This chaplain says, I enjoyed your comments and it made me ponder which ultimately is the greater fear, facing a difficult physical concern or, and here's the one Jesus seemed to note, feeling utterly lost and without any way of coping, with a sense that no one is with us and there is no roadmap for the journey. My experiences in chaplaincy tell me that it is the latter. Our hearts and minds can be awfully empty places without the word, Jesus, to cling to. And I said to myself, right on. Not only does that seem to be the truth that I face every single day here at St. Bernard's, every church I've ever been in, people seeking interiorly for peace. They want to know the roadmap. They feel lost. They don't know what the next steps are. They say, God, where are you? Why have you abandoned me? It's this interior struggle, this interior seeking, because sometimes we can feel so very much alone, even with family and friends around us. And so Jesus looks at them and he thinks, God, they look like sheep without a shepherd. They're going everywhere. They don't know where they're going. They're tripping over their own feet. And so he taught them. He taught them. And what did he teach them? Doesn't say, but we know from the whole Scriptures, he taught them about God's love for them. He taught them about the need to serve others. He taught them about the power of compassion. He taught them about yearning for and working for peace in their own lives and among themselves. He taught them the wonder of forgiveness, both of self and of others. He taught them that there is a world out there that can be when people find in themselves the desire to love one another. They were like sheep without a shepherd, scattering, running in every direction, not knowing where to go next. But he looked at them, he pitied them, and he taught them. Do you think it's any different for us? I don't. I think we come here, all different degrees and levels, wanting that inner stuff, that stuff deep within our spirit that gives us enough confidence and stability that we go on, and not only for ourselves, but have excess left over to help one another. And what a profound experience. This is the reason, I think, to be church. What a profound experience when people in general are not scattering and running, but coming together to open themselves up to the words of Jesus, to the Word who is Jesus, and in Him to find life. Jesus comes among us today, and He looks at us, and He comes to teach us. He comes to give us His love, to give us His life.